Bismillah. So I was browsing my bookshelf and I saw young colored men who were not earning more than $4 a week spend $2 or more for a buggy on Sunday to ride up and down Pennsylvania Avenue in order that they might try to convince the world that they were worth thousands. Sound familiar? I asked if it sounded familiar because $4 in the 1900s, at the turn of the 20th century, was worth about $150. So you're making $150 a week, spending half of that just to pretend you were worth something on a buggy, spinning on a fancy car, driving up and down the avenue to be seen. But in the end, you still N-word in a coupe. Now that's a parallel to Kanye West, Hate Him or Love Him, All Falls Down, talking about the self-consciousness that Negroes had at the turn of the 20th century. But it wasn't Kanye West who wrote that. It was Booker T. Washington in his autobiography, Up From Slavery. Especially in the Black community, Booker T. Washington can be seen as a polarizing figure because of how much he contrasted Du Bois's talented 10th education, intellect will make the Negro rise from his condition. And Booker T in his autobiography is literally called Up From Slavery. He talked about that bootstrapism mentality of, we have the ingenuity, we had the industrial skills coming out of slavery, let's use that to our advantage. And in his autobiography, Up From Slavery, Washington discusses just that. We came out of slavery with all of these skills, for better or for worse, and how we could use that for the Negro community, which Negroes, ADOS absolutely did do. And in the book, he talks about how in the opposite direction, there were Negroes who, instead of picking themselves up by the bootstraps, wanted to show off as if they had already done so. Hence the line about Negroes spending half their weekly paycheck, not on anything of substance, but to pretend that they were worth thousands, when in reality, they were not. I'm not even going to beg the question as to why someone would spend half their hard-earned week's paycheck on something of no real practical utility, such as a buggy going up Pennsylvania Avenue. You want to be seen, you want to put on the pretense as if you're worth more. Do we see that around today? Ask yourself that question, ADOS. I'm going to bring it to modern day Kanye West, Hate Him or Love Him. Even if you in a Benz, you still an N-word in a coupe. Black people have been put down for so long that we want to be seen in any way, even at the expense of our own resources. We'd rather put on the pretenses of keeping up with the Joneses. Do you see what Booker T. Washington was talking about in his autobiography, Up From Slavery? Do you see Black people in 2025 spending so much money just to be seen?